Hello everyone. So I am making this video because I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts about what is happening with us as a race and things that I've noticed for the last decades. Alright, I'm reaching 40, so I could say that at least for 20 years, if not maybe 25 actually, I've realized that there's something wrong with our upbringing and how we function in society. And my thoughts about this have been reinforced ever since I have moved to Canada. So I am from the Balkans, and I moved to Canada when I was 20. And I realized very quickly that we are being walked all over. Now, although I come from what used to be a white majority country, I was very open-minded. I do have some mixed family members as well, so I didn't have prejudice whatsoever. Racism, prejudice, however you want to call it. And like I said, I was very tolerant, very understanding. I still am, but things have definitely changed in my perspective. Now I have moved to Canada and I realized that there is this self-hatred, and it has only gone worse, right? So I've been here for 20 years, almost 20 years or 20 years, right? So North America. And I started to notice that we are also using messed up wording to refer to ourselves, and so since I moved to Canada, I'm just going to say North America because this is kind of, let's just say West. I moved to the West, okay? It has been a very weird experience of acceptance and of guilt that I've never experienced before. I have never felt guilty. I mean, I can't say they have convinced me to feel guilty in any way right now, but still, the back of my mind after spending time with certain people and going to university, that I almost had to question myself in certain situations. And I realized, wait a second, why am I doing this? This is not normal. I did not grow up with this nonsense. I did not go to school here. I did university here, but I did not go to school. I didn't experience the school system here. None of this brainwashing, none of this forced tolerance. We're literally tolerating anything here. I'm not talking about being racist or prejudiced. It's simply like you're literally seeing something that is not normal behavior, and you're told that it's just how other people are. This is actually the first thing I have experienced. So when I was in my 20s, it was this forced acceptance under the guise that all cultures are equal. I mean, it's a fact that they're not. How could we be all equal? All people are not equal. We're not born equal. All cultures are not equal. And under this lie, so many people, and I mean especially white people in particular, have been forced to navigate their lives and oftentimes even put themselves on hold. You can't speak up, you can't talk about this subject is not for you to discuss. And I will go into details as I talk, because thoughts are going to start pouring hopefully in here. I get lost, I'm driving at the same time, but what is happening with us. And I've realized actually that we have been lied to for decades. Just like I said at the beginning of this video, 4 decades. So when I was in school and high school, there was never the idea that you should be proud of your country. And like I said, I come from the Balkans. There, we don't have a history of enslaving other people. In fact, we have been enslaved by my ancestors, right? Not me. And so we have none of that. And yet we still have this, like, I don't want to say disgust, but like pushback. Oh, it's just such a peasant thing to do, to, you know, be proud of, to be a patriot, or to be proud of who you are and that kind of stuff. So you always have to like other people or accept other people more than yourself, because it's okay to accept other people, but to praise them more than yourself is just messed up. Anyway, and I realized that we have been told that it's shameful to be who we are, that what other people have is better, which is clearly not the case. And the idea of marriage was not promoted, and it was not promoted in a healthy way. It was almost mocked. When I say mocked, I don't mean like, oh, you're getting married, you know, that making a joke out of you. But it wasn't something that felt healthy. It was either just, you know, it's the norm, you know, you get married and have kids, whatever. Or it was, oh, you know, we need to experiment. We need to see how it is with other people. We need this and that. You know, you can get married later. You may or may not have kids. And I'm thinking, I don't think I can name another race or culture in which these things are, I don't want to say optional, because I don't think you should be forced to do them, but there is no other race or culture that will say it doesn't matter or it's not important. There is no, this is only a white person's mentality. And the thing is, I don't think we've had this in us all the time. We have not had this within us. This was stuff that was put in movies. I'm not sure literature, because the literature I was reading was pretty positive, or, you know, family oriented. But the media, absolutely. Music and media. Even in high school, I was watching TV shows for teenagers, not even American ones, in which this whole idea of, you know, sleeping with your boyfriend, maybe not, you know, so the teenage relationship is not going to be successful. You know, everyone who gets married young is just going to get divorced. Don't have kids when you're young, have them when you're, you know, 35. Like, this was the stuff that we were watching. And I remember I was even dating a guy, and he, like, we were, I mean, so I thought, in love. And he said, you know, it's like I'm going to marry I was the first girlfriend. It's like I'm going to marry the first girlfriend. So it was just the mentality, and everyone had this mentality. And in my head, I was, you know, trying to justify, oh yeah. But then I'm like, looking back, what the hell are we doing then? I'm wasting my time. Why am I putting feelings? And this is, you know, everyone should not waste their time. Well, what are we doing? We're dating for what? And again, is this something that we are doing because this is what we have been seeing for years throughout our childhood? Not to mention, some of us might have parents who also have this mentality. Oh, you know, don't bother with marriage. Just, you know, only focus on yourself. You know, just travel. There's no focus on family. No focus on tradition. No focus on proper skills. When I grew up, all we knew is that you need to be like an academic. God forbid you have a a skill. Kids is the last thing you should be thinking about. And yeah, I mean, these were kind of the thoughts that we had. And this is my question, like, what were the other races being taught? Because I'm pretty sure for all the people that I've been hanging out with from other races, this was never something that was not important for them, to get married and have kids or family. In fact, it's the opposite. The other thing is, us white people, we have also been taught very minimal, accurate history. I think there are very few people that can say that they're learning actual history in their schools, and especially what is offered even like internationally. They're not learning much about themselves except, minimal stuff, like how we ended up being who we are as a tribe, as a country, as whatever. And a lot of focus is put on slavery and Hitler, right? So the transatlantic slavery and whatever happened in the 40s. Very few people, if you ask them, so tell me about the history of your country. Tell me about, how your ancestors come up to be. They don't really know. But they can tell you stuff about slavery. People don't know anything about slavery, about general concepts of slavery, or like I said, their own history. They have no idea. You can't have a proper conversation with them. And I'm talking about white people because I expect more from my own people. I expect that you're not going to be allowing someone else to mock you, allowing someone else to tell you who you are, or that who you are is wrong, simply because you do not have a proper education or knowledge. I've concluded that we have been brainwashed as a race, at least since the 40s. Just based on all the media that I have consumed as a child. So, as a child, teenager, young adult, whatever. And I was thinking, like, how many movies are we going to be watching about the Yahtzees over and over? There was like unlimited amount. I'm pretty sure if I search in 2025, there's still going to be some movie made about that. Like, give it a break. Movies after movies about slavery. What's that movie called with the last Mohican? I think I'm saying that right. It was probably the only movie from where I remember that was a little bit more. It wasn't one-sided. But generally, the movies with Native Americans, and again, I am from the Balkans. I'm not American. I don't have a history. I don't have ancestors in America. I don't have any of that. So the only knowledge I had from watching American movies, North American movies, was how wise and patient and intelligent and peaceful the Native Americans were, and how greedy and evil and whatever else you want were the whites. Movie after movie after movie, same thing. I get it. Make one or two movies like that if you want. But is there one where we can see more about what happened? Or no, we're just going to continue with one narrative? The other thing is we see movies in which the white guy, unless we're talking about like 007 or something, and even that one, 007, that kind of crap. the guy is just run around sleeping with women, and he's some badass. That's it. Wow, what a role model that guy is. But anyway, in general, if you watch movies, the white guy, unless he's the absolute hero main character who beats up everybody, will be a complete idiot. He's gonna be dumb. He won't have knowledge. He will be prejudiced. He will be racist. The woman's gonna be better, or there's gonna be some black guy or whatever you name, other race that's going to be wiser and more patient and who will solve the problem. These are the movies I watched. These were the narratives that we have seen. We have also seen women in movies, white women. I'm talking about white race, okay? White women who were beating everybody up. Which is, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. You're a woman. You don't have the strength. You can probably beat up one guy, maybe two if you're like incredibly skilled. So what are we watching? We haven't watched anything about femininity, gracefulness. Again, maybe I'm thinking Lord of the Rings with Arwen. You know, she was gentle, but she was also powerful. But otherwise, we are not watching anything that is beneficial to us as men, women, and as white people. So, continuing to what I was saying about the movies and what we were watching, the shame of the race. Also, has anyone noticed that every time there is a movie about a woman that is, if she's not going to kick everybody's ass because she's just amazing, super sexy, and in high heels, and is able to beat everybody up, what does that put in women's minds? Oh, I can also go around and I'm going to be able to do this. No, you're not. Chances are someone's just going to slap you once and you're on the floor. This is a fact. But anyway, if she's not portrayed as someone like that, she's going to be portrayed as a floozy. Someone with low morals, someone who is, let's call it now, a sex worker, and so on. Just low, I'm sorry, whoever feels offended, but low quality morals. I don't know how else to call it. There are very few movies in which the woman is actually just a decent woman who happens to be married or have kids or just, also has a career if she wants to. If she's not going to be a boss babe, or she's going to kick ass, or she's going to be of low morals, who's going to be sleeping with everybody, then she doesn't get a role. I want you to think of many movies you have watched, and you'll notice that is the case. There are very few. And going back to what I said about us as a race and what we have learned, I'm sure my parents' generation and my generation for sure, and whatever's happening to the kids that are now 20 and the ones who are 15, hopefully they wake up. But what we see is the push of hating who you are, of not settling down, instead exploring other people's bodies, exploiting your body, not wanting to have kids, not wanting to procreate, either because it's bad for the globe, for the earth, it's bad for you simply because you're white and you shouldn't, it's bad for your individualism, however they got you. And they tell you all of these things, and look at the situation we are in. Very few people that I grew up with valued marriage.
especially men. And I know men now say, oh, I just want to find a woman who gets married. Did you say that when you were 20? Or are you saying it now when you're 40 and expecting to marry a 20-year-old? And very few people wanted marriage, very few people wanted kids. Now, my generation, and I'm talking only about the people that I finished high school with, have gotten married or had kids. The majority did not, they're still single. And the ones who do have kids have one, maximum two. And even that's actually pretty good. And I'm talking about white people, yes? And now what did they say? Well, we have a low fertility rate and a high mortality rate. We need to bring in all these people. We need skilled workers. Skilled workers for what? You don't need to be skilled to know how to sweep the street. But the other thing is they'll say, well, they do jobs that you don't want to do. Realistically, as Europeans, and I'm talking about from a European standpoint, there wasn't a focus on teaching kids to have any skills other than sitting at the desk and learn academics. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, learning at a desk. But to have no skill whatsoever, and for all of us to aspire to become doctors or whatever, is also insane. Because under that guise, the majority of us did not end up to be doctors, because that's not how life works. Not everyone will have the ability, the desire to become doctors and lawyers, or whatever else they want us to become. And now you brought in, I can't even say the number, millions and millions of people who come from countries that are incompatible with us from any point of view, not in terms of morals, not in terms of civic sense, not religion, not gender, nothing. And they brought them in, and we are forced to live like that. And they've done it to Canada. There's so much to say about this country now. It's just unrecognizable. But it all started with the brainwashing of an entire race and several generations of people. And the question is why? Because this was clearly the end result. This was clearly done on purpose. What we have been taught, what we have not been taught and omitted, what was given to us as media to consume through music, through, I guess I could say art too, through movies, is exactly this. Sleep around. That's the goal. College, university is for sleeping around. All girls are easy. All guys are chads and nerds that will still get the girl. What movies have we watched when we were young? Yes, I'm talking about the 90s and the 2000s, that generation. What movies have we watched in which the idea of marriage and of having kids and raising them well, have we watched? I can't name a single one, not a single movie. And then we have the issue of Christianity that has been mocked over and over again. And I mean, there's so much to talk about that too. Maybe you'll save that for another video. But the conclusion is we are in the situation that we are in because of all all these years of complete brainwashing. And we are sending our kids to public school so they can continue to be brainwashed. And now we live with other cultures who hate us, who take advantage of us. And they also are taught nonsense in schools. And you can't fight them because our kids don't know the reality. That's what they know, that's what they're taught. And why are our kids in school? Oh, so I can go to work several times a day, so I can pay an incredible amount of taxes, especially in Canada. So I can have millions and millions of people coming in here and they can live off my taxes. And they say, it's not true, that's not how it works. Yes, absolutely how it works. That is absolutely how it works. You send your kid to school to get brainwashed so that you can make money that your government is going to steal from you. I'll probably remember other thoughts about this whole issue I have with my race, because it's what is happening is terrible. And there again are very, very few people that are able to have a proper conversation, either because they are, I don't know, maybe they have low brain capacity or something, I don't know, or they're uneducated or they refuse to. But anyway, if you watch this, I don't know if anyone's going to watch it. Let me know what you think.